Okay, we've already looked at the the retain and retire and also the relocate. Now we are going to look at rehost. Rehost, you can using the cloud enduro migration, which is agent-based block level, which is block level storage replication. They can doing the virtual to virtual block level migrations, or they can also do the physical to virtual machine P2V migrations. Yeah, they can migrate those physical Windows Server, Linux, regardless, Ubuntu or CentOS or SUOS or Red Hat. Or maybe they can also migrate the virtual machine like Vimeo, Hyper-V's. Overall, it's migrated on the block levels. The Cloud Enduro migration is block level replications. The second, we can also use the server migration called SMS. Server migration, that's on the file level replications, which is they copy the file from virtual machine to virtual machine. So when they copy the file, you specify the virtual machine, let's say EC2, and also you specify the EC2, what is the things you needed, right? And those data, when they copy over, they will be in the transit phase. They will be transit. You need to test them, and you need to validate them. After test and validate, if the data is okay, you are going to have the right replica to write those data to the productions. We call the transit. We won't just create this instance without validations and without transactions. We need to validate first, and then we do the right replica through the transit to the production. Now let's look at it on the platform. Similar, if you're going to have Oracle, let's say Oracle Database 12 or Oracle Database 11 or 12 or 13, or maybe you have the MS SQL Server, MariaDB Server, yeah. Then you can using the DMS, which is the Database Migration Services, to migrate your data to the RDS, to the DynamoDB, or to the Aurora, or maybe the other database services. You're going to make sure you have enough bandwidth, because copy those database the data can be time consuming. But also you can enable the real-time replications, which is CRC. So any changes on the production on the premises side, they were going to make incremental changes and replicate it to the AWS cloud. If the customer have a big chunky of a database, you can using the snowballs, which is really the hardware appliance, to shift it to back up the data from the production SQL servers or Oracle server, and then shift it to the migrate back by this server. It's connect to the migration DMS back to the productions. Next, we are going to look at AWS Skimmers conversion tools we call SCT. The good thing is it is a tool which is provide agnostic database creations. So if you have a productions, let's say you have a production server, production database server which is running, the production, let's say Oracle. You don't want to be continuous to pay for the Oracle license, and you can using MySQL or PostGRE SQL. Or maybe you on production use MySQL. You can still use the MySQLs. So overall, it's provide a schema conversion to convert between the different vendors, and also to convert between the same vendor, even for different versions. For instance, like Oracle, you can convert Oracle to the Amazon MySQL, PostGIS SQL, or Aurora. You can convert Oracle data warehousing to do with Amazon Redshift data warehousing. You can convert Microsoft SQL Server with MySQL or PostGIS SQL or Amazon Aurora. You can also convert different warehousing tools like BI tools like Teradata, Grandpa, HPE towards Amazon Redshift. You can also convert the different open source tools like MySQL or MariaDB towards PostGIS and PostGIS towards MySQL, vice versa. You can also convert IBM DB2 towards MySQL and PostGIS SQLs. You can also convert the open source like Apache Cathedral towards DynamoDBs. You can also convert the SAP database towards MySQLs as PostGIS. Again, when you convert or replatform those database, you also need to validate the data. After validation done, you are going to do the transit. To do the transit, you're going to write through the write replica to replicate the data to the productions. Now, you probably also need to, let's say, change some of the, you can also do some of the simple things such as, web services. If you're going to, let's say, using the WebLogic or IBM WebSphere, web services, application services, you can also convert them into the open source Apache NGX Tomcat, and also with the Apache application servers. But this probably going to take a little bit more effort and time. So the next one we're going to talk about is repurchase. As I say, repurchase, they have 1,500 ISVs, and you can always pick up, the different vendors, and you can probably pick up, software as services or maybe platform as services just by enable their licensing, purchase their hour rate, subscribe their services, turn on the license, and then putting the the URL and name converter, and then you can activate the services within your landing zones and production as well. So the next one, we're going to look at refactorings. Some of the legacy application, let's say they're hosted on the AS400 or maybe the Solaris server AIX, or this server is probably, or maybe HP server, Unix servers mid-range. You probably need to do a little bit more if you want to convert them into a cloud native, and buy through the the code, and through the Lambda, and through the AWS Lambda API gateway type of thing, RESTful, and also Lambda state machines through buckets and KMS, and you can probably refactor them. But bear in mind, refactor, we are going to take architectural redesign of the application, and also going to take much more effort in terms of development, testing, and integrations. So be very, very careful about refactorings. Data transformation and migration always take a lot of effort and a lot of data, and so you're going to have the snowball. You're going to have, for the big data, you're going to have Snowball Mobile for the for the really big data. You're also going to have a Snowball A for the small amount of data, And also, you're going to enable data synchronization between the premises data center file system towards the AWS cloud. And that's the end of the migration phase. After migration, you're going to continuously to push for the the migration acceleration. You're going to continue to do the modernization of the application. You're going to continuously build up the cloud systems and make the system more agile and more cost effective. You're going to continue to improve five factor, which is operation excellence, securities, performance, reliability, and cost. Thank you very much. Bye.